Hi there. This time I'm going to talk about the OMD cameras and how to expose to the right so that your exposures are perfect all the time and every time. There is a nice way of setting up your camera so that you can see in the viewfinder which parts of your images might be overexposed and which might be underexposed. But first of all, let's look at the menus and see how to set it up, and then I'll show it to you what it looks like on your viewfinder or on your back LCD. Okay, now I'll show you how to set up your camera so that you can expose perfectly every time without losing any detail. First of all, you need to use RAW format. That's because it can catch more information than regular JPEGs, so that with the raw information you have more to work on if you need to correct your images later on. After that, you go to the picture mode and choose muted, and then you go inside to muted menu and contrast -2 and saturation -2. The other ones you can leave. And the next step is to go into the special menu D and put the live view info and set it up the custom one so that it only shows highlight and shadow. And the second menu you can set it up like this, and then with the info button you can choose which custom view you have on your viewfinder. And the next step is to set up the highlight and the shadow on your histogram settings. 254 and 1 are my settings, but these depend on where and what form you shoot. Most of my images are on websites and such, so that they be viewed online, so I can do 254 and 1. But if your images are mostly, for example, in print, then you might want to have this on 250, 245, it depends on what kind of paper they use. And the same thing with the shadows. It's recommended to have 8, maybe on a magazine paper and such. And then one important thing is to put on the light boost off. Then the color space, it's Adobe RGB of course, which has the most widest gamut of color that the camera can capture. The other one is sRGB, which is not enough for this purpose. And then one final step, keep warm color off. Okay, now I'm filming the back of a camera which is aimed at the view from my balcony. As you can see, the whole area in the sky is red on the viewfinder in the OMD camera. But when I start, and you can see it's +3, you can see here it's +3 there. Then I'm starting to as you can see, it goes further when I exposure more. But now when I start to exposure to the other side, as you can see now, there's no red dots in the sky. The sky is perfectly exposed and there's nothing that is overexposed. But then, as you can see, -0.7 is overexposed, and one stop down, it's perfect. And then if I go further down, you start seeing blue. Now it's underexposed, of course it is, because it's like four stops down. Of course it's underexposed. But this is the way. Let's see that we have it. This would be 0.0. So this is what the camera sees. And now I start to go down, and one stop down, then it's perfect. But this is what it looks like, and I think it's magnificent. Okay, now you know how to set up your Olympus OMD camera so that you can expose it to the right and get a perfect exposure every time without any clipping on your highlights. Even though this was made with an Olympus OMD EM1, it works with all the OMD cameras, the 5 and the 10, all versions, and also with the new magnificent Pen F, and also with some of the Pen cameras. I believe so. The setup was originally discovered by Finnish photographer Pekka Potka, but his blog post is not anymore online, so I decided to make this small video. But if this video wasn't clear enough and you couldn't figure it out, or it was too fast, click the eye on the top right hand corner, and then there's a link to my blog about the same thing. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel There will be more